Hey guys, it's Lydia and I'll give you some updates of what's going on here, and I want to do a video talking about insurance and if you're going to be full-timing, some of the things that I learned. I haven't been able to edit a lot because I've had a lot on my plate. As you know, I did that last video explaining what was going on, why we came back to Florida. So if you're not sure about what's going on, go ahead and watch that, and I'll link it below so that you can kind of know what's going on. My videos take a long time to edit because there's so many clips and there's so many cameras, so I really haven't had a lot of time to do a lot videos like I wanted to. Finally got my truck camper, which was amazing. It's a 2008 Lance camper, no more rubber roofs. It's 4-season, and I'm just so in love with this camper. I've been decorating it, getting it ready for my trip to Miami, which is going to be day after tomorrow. I'll be heading. It'll be my first time driving it down, my first time doing everything with a truck camper. So I'm really scared. I'm really nervous. I know it's going to be fine. It always happens. You know, it's the first time that you go out in something, and all of you are going to experience too when you first get the first rig, and you're going to be, you know, until you get to know it. So I am going to be pretty nervous, and I am going to be bringing you the video of that. So that's why I wanted to tell you that what's going to happen is I am going to bring you through the videos of getting the camper. I'm going to be bringing you the videos of the reveal of the camper. It's already been decorated and done. So that's going to come next. And then the trip to Miami, I guess, will come sometime after that. But so much happening, and I don't want to fall behind with the new stuff. So I'm trying to still work that out in my head, but there's really a lot of stuff going on. So Mike finally bought his truck. You can see it back there. So it's been really crazy because we've been shopping for trucks, shopping for his truck camper, which you've seen his video he already has, getting this place ready, and getting myself organized with all the stuff that had to come out of my trailer, and getting the van sold, and all the stuff that's in the garage, and trying to get everything organized. So it's been really crazy.
Mike wants to talk to you.
He wants to talk to me? Hello? Because I'm outside filming a video. Why? You want me to call you back? Oh, okay. Okay. Alright, bye. Peace. He wanted to check his phone to see if it was working, so he called me in the middle of a video. Oh, it happens over here. That's how crazy it is here. Anyway, so that's what's happening. So I'm going to be traveling to Miami. This is my first time driving the rig. Mike is not coming with me. He's staying here because he's got his own stuff to do, his own maintenance to do on that truck to get himself ready to go back up north. So that's what's happening here. So anyway, let's get to the insurance stuff that I want to talk to you about. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is you have to decide if you're going to be a part-timer or a full-timer. For me, I was always a part-timer, you know, because I would travel with my uncle. He was here. We'd go to parks. We'd do stuff like that. Okay, that's great. The insurance I had was great for that. But when I went full-timing, I didn't realize really that I had to change my insurance. I really should have considered a better insurance for my car. In other words, I only have the basics of what I need. My car's a 2005, my truck is. And it's always parked in the garage. I only use it when I used my RV. The storm that we were involved with was one of those things that we got no alerts because we didn't have our alerts set on our phone correctly. We didn't have a weather radio. So definitely when you head on the road for something like this, if you're going to be going to a lot of different places, especially Colorado and places where there's sudden storms like this, you're definitely going to want to have a good app that alerts you. Or when you get to your destination, you're going to want to set your app. That was the problem that we had. Our app didn't have location services where it just automatically followed us wherever we went. We had to set it, and we didn't realize that until the storm hit. So that's important. Number 2, go through your insurance, your auto insurance, and get yourself a better insurance, because if you do have a problem with your vehicle like I did, my vehicle is really necessary for if I was traveling with a fifth wheel, a truck camper, or you know, any kind of a travel trailer, anything that I pull or tow or whatever. My truck is really it. I mean, this is what I need. So your insurance is really important on a vehicle like that, because you don't want to get stuck where your car is damaged, and then what are you going to do? How are you going to move your home? If you come across, flooding, if you come across hailstorms, if you come across, thunder, lightning, whatever, you never know what's going to happen to you. I would have never thought none of this stuff would happen to us several times because we had a couple of scares with different storms. Vehicle insurance is very important if you're hitting the road full time. Reevaluate your coverage and have a plan in mind of what would happen. What would you do if something like this happened to you? I know I've talked to several people and they said, you know what, I don't know what I would do. I live here full time. I live in my van full time. I don't know what I would do. So if you're in those stages right now where you're planning on full timing in the future, you're going through the stages of selling your house, selling your furniture, maybe this video is a blessing for you to understand that you need to have a backup plan for this. If something were to happen and you had to turn in your RV like I did. I just realized it would have been really hard for us to do that, living with all the contents and all the animals that we had. We had 4 animals with us and 3 people. A hotel room for a situation like that is very difficult. Not every hotel is going to take you with all this amount of pets. So you need to have a backup plan. So definitely get better auto insurance and have a backup plan in case something like this happens to you, some idea of what you're going to do and how you're going to handle it. I have 2 road assistance. I have roadside assistance with AAA, which is RV Plus, and that's for towing. My insurance also gave me the roadside assistance. I'm looking at my notes so I don't forget. I had a $750 roadside assistance amount. So if I had any damages on my trip, like my tires broke or something like that, they would cover me up to $750. They would not cover me for a hotel, and they would not cover me for anything else other than just a problem. And it's not that I would call the insurance and they would send somebody out like AAA. What they would do is reimburse me for if I had to pay towing or if I had to, buy a part or something for a problem that I had while I was on my trip. They would cover me up to $750. There is the trip interruption that I didn't ever have, so that's something that you're going to want to have, especially to use as a backup plan. This is a great backup plan to have. The insurance that says trip interruption, you'll have to check with the insurance company and see if you can get trip interruption as a full-timer, because now that you're full-time and living in your RV, you might not be able to get this option of trip interruption. What trip interruption does is, if you have a problem like we did and we didn't have a home, like we were traveling and now we had to get the RV serviced and we couldn't live in it, they would pay us for a hotel. For us, it would cover us for a certain amount. So I didn't have that on my policy, but that would have been a great thing to have as far as the hailstorm was concerned if my trailer wasn't usable. But my trailer was still usable. So, but definitely look into trip interruption. So those are the 2. There's trip interruption and there's roadside assistance. My insurance was Nationwide Insurance. That's the company that I was using. They were awesome with the claims, very professional. They came through for me right away. The adjuster came right out and met us at a location. They were constantly giving me updates of everything. If I had a question, there was always somebody that called me back. I was very happy with the claim, and I'm going to be using them again. The first 24 hours that morning, I called and I filed my first claim, and I was able to get them to come out and videotape it within 48 hours. They did send out 2 people, and we met them at the Bass Pro Shops. It was when we met them in Colorado, and they came out and they did the survey and they did everything. And in about 72 hours after that is when you're going to have your estimate of what they're going to pay you for. For me, what they did is they gave me 2 totals. They gave me a total, well, in my condition, they considered that my RV was going to cost more to repair than it would as far as labor is concerned. So I want you to understand something that I learned that I didn't know, what the cost of labor for an RV is. So if you're considering a rig right now, consider this. It costs $129 an hour if you go to an RV place for service. And that means whether they do 30 minutes or 40 minutes, they're going to charge you $100, at least Lazy Days does. It's $129 an hour to get service on your RV. So this is why I don't have a motorhome. And I've always said that I'd rather have a truck because I can bring my truck anywhere for repair. This is why I realized that I wanted the truck camper even more now than ever, because when I paid $129 at Lazy Days And basically it was just, I went there for service on the slide out, and you'll see it in my video that comes up later on in the sequence. But what happens, well, we ended up in Lazy Days for the slide out repair, and we ended up finding out that the damage was really intense in the framing of the RV, and had compromised the entire framing because my slide out was 8 feet. They used the smaller trusses, the thinner wood. Now you're compromising the entire structure around it. So it would have cost a lot of money to repair. I had the option, they gave me an option for repairs, and I thought that was going to take it. Up until a month, I was pretty much sure that that's what I was going to do. They were offering to give me, I think it was a little bit over $6,000 for just repairing it. My awning was broken, my air conditioning cover was broken, my refrigerator was broken, my lights were broken, had a lot of dents, had 31 panels that were defective on the aluminum. So they decided that they were also going to buy me out, considered a total loss. So I had the two options, and I thought the RV was fine. I said, oh, well, I don't mind if it has some dents. I'll replace this with the $6,000. I'll replace that. And then a month later is when we realized how really bad the structure of the RV had gotten, and it wasn't really worth it for me. What you're going to want to do is right after you get your estimate from the insurance, you're going to want to take your RV for inspection. You want them to be thoroughly inspected before you make a decision. If you don't want to make a decision whether you want to go from payment to total loss, you really want to know what's in the frame and what's going on inside the RV. For me, it just made sense to get rid of it. It was going to cost me too much, and it was always going to be a problem in the future. The inspector for me would meet me anywhere. They called me from Florida, but they knew I was traveling, so they put me with the inspector that was in Ohio, and then he traveled out to Colorado. Okay, as far as the pickup of the RV is, once they consider your RV a total loss, in my insurance, they requested that I turn it over the title, and they request that they have to pick up the trailer. So they don't let you keep the trailer. Be careful when you're buying trailers from dealers, because there seems to be, to me, and I don't know if it's right or not, but there seems to be a secondary market for these products where they go. They have some kind of damage, and somebody will buy them cheap, and they'll turn around and they'll flip them without anybody knowing what's really going on inside the frame. So just be aware that if you're buying a used RV, you want to make sure that it doesn't have any water damage, because a lot of these insurance companies could be selling them on the secondary market and selling them to you. My RV had mold. That's why I got rid of it. There was visible mold inside of the walls. It had not come out yet, but we knew that it was in there. And that's the reason I decided to get rid of it and not repair it, because once there's mold in there, I mean, I don't want to get sick, and I don't want to deal with this problem anymore. You turn over the RV, you got to turn over the title. They will not give you your check or your money until you turn over the title. As far as I'm concerned, I can't really talk to you as far as there's a lien on your RV, because I didn't have a lien on my RV. It was paid for. So, you know, that's something you're going to have to check with your insurance company and ask them these questions when you're looking for insurance with your RV. Ask them about this. So you don't want to wait till you get into a situation like me, especially if you're full-time, to find what's going to happen. Tell them what you're thinking about and how would they handle the situation if you were on the road and you had a lien holder. So you want to make sure that the insurance company gives you the right information of what happens in the event that you have that middleman in the middle. So that's really important, because that could delay you a lot. I mean, if your trip interruption will pay you for a certain amount and your bank is causing a lot of problems, you may actually have to out of pocket the remaining time that you're out there without a rig, and you're actually paying for hotels. So these are the things and the questions that you need to ask up front when you get insurance, and make sure you go with a reliable company that gives you good service. Do not skimp if you're going to be full-timing on your insurance, especially if you're heading up into these areas where you can get into a sudden storm. As far as my solar is concerned, we were so fortunate that none of the solar panels got ruined. We saw lots of damage everywhere, but the solar panels are made for hail. They took the beating and they're fine. They worked fine afterwards. We kept traveling with them. I probably won't be installing those in my RV, only because they're so big and they weigh so much. I'll probably be doing that here in the property in the next couple of months. I'll be thinking about doing a cargo type power supply unit with the cargo trailer and putting those on top with the batteries inside, and having a portable unit that I could pull with me. If there was a storm here in Florida, I could pull a cargo trailer behind my truck and my truck camper. So that's an option that I'm really looking into for the future later on in the year. I'll have to do the solar when I come back to Miami. I'll be working on figuring out what I'm going to do with solar So I'm really going to be upset because I got to take this trip and I'm not going to have any solar. And I got so used to having solar. It was so wonderful to have solar and be off the grid. And I mean, it was just amazing. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be at an RV park. I'm not sure if I'm going to overnight at a Walmart. Not sure what's going to happen yet because I have to really feel it out with the rig. This is my first time feeling it out, and not sure how much power the battery is going to hold for us for a night. So we're still winging that. So as far as the solar is concerned, what happened was I got a quote, and the quote was just basically for the RV. I called and I said, well, what about the solar panels? He goes, no, those weren't included. But because they weren't included in the price, I was able to remove the solar panels. Everything for the solar we were able to remove. So I have those in my garage. I was also able to pull out the television, which was a great Jensen television that I had in there, because these are optional things. But when they're giving you the payment, a lot of the options that you have, they're not included in the amount of money that you're getting. So you basically could take those objects out, but you do need to check with the insurance. They do expect you to provide the refrigerator, and they do expect you the basics, which is your refrigerator, usually your microwave. As you know, my microwave, I took it out before my trip. We stored it away, but when we got back, we put the microwave back in. It wasn't working, but they want it, maybe they could fix it. They're going to turn around and sell it. I don't know. We put that. The other things that I took out of there was the bedding, the twin mattresses that were on the bunk beds. I also took those with me because that's also not something that all RVs come with. And pretty much anything that was personal belongings and stuff that was mine, anything that I put money into, like the shower head, I put the old one back. My Oxygenics is now in my truck camper. And so check with your insurance as to what the condition is. If you made an install of solar, check with them, because most likely you can have that removed and used on a next rig. I mean, it is going to cost you some money to have somebody remove that for you if you paid for somebody to install it for you. I don't know if they give you more if you turned it in with the solar panels. I don't think so, but every insurance is different. So those are questions you're going to want to ask too up front. If you're making an upgrade like that to your RV and it's costing you money because you're not doing the work, then you need to ask them up front, your insurance, to say, look, I have solar panels. Are you going to cover me for this? Or is this a secondary insurance that I need to cover that as personal property? The other thing that I also took was the propane tanks. The propane tanks was also, I left one. I took one because I like to have a backup at home. So I did keep one of the propane tanks. They had no problem with it. As far as my money is concerned, I provided to him the title. I sent it, and I made sure that I sent it in the mail, but I sent it receipt requested, so I knew it was tracked. I knew that they received the title. Once he received the title, he called me up and said, okay, now we have the rig, and now we have the title, so your check is coming. They did a direct deposit of the payment into my bank account. Probably within 2 days I had the money. So stay tuned, guys, because after this video, I'm going to be posting the video of going to get the truck camper, the reveal of the truck camper. I'll probably be in Miami when I do those. And then once I bring you up to date, I'll be doing one video a week of what's going on now, and then I'll be doing videos of also posting videos during the week of the trip. And hopefully we'll get caught up. I'm going to also be doing a video about budgets, what we spent on the road. I'm still working on that. I want you guys to know what it cost us to be on the road. Stay tuned, because we've got a lot more coming up. Bye.
Hey guys, we are now an off-grid, self-reliant RV. Subscribe to watch us on the road as we put this RV to the self-sustainable test. Don't forget to thumbs up if you enjoy the efforts we are putting out. As always, thanks for watching.